Hello students, this is second problem for today from Pathfinder book and from the chapter 4 which is method of impulse and momentum and the system of particles. Here we have three particles, two with mass small m and one with mass capital M big M. These masses are connected by ideal threads which are massless threads and the entire system is on a frictionless horizontal floor. At the initial moment, the central object, that is capital M, object of mass capital M, is projected with speed u along the horizontal floor, whereas the other two masses are at rest. After some time, the two masses which are denoted by small m, they will collide with each other, and we have been asked to find the tension force in the thread at that moment. You can read the question, and if you want, you can try it, and then later you can watch the solution of this question. Okay, so here is the solution of this question. What are the key points in this question? The key concepts, the important points in this specific question are: the entire system is on a frictionless horizontal floor, and that is the key point for this question, frictionless horizontal floor. So due to frictionless, there is no energy dissipation. So number one, you can follow energy conservation. The mechanical energy of system will be conserved. That is energy conservation principle one. And secondly, in the absence of friction and the system on a horizontal surface, remember this system is on the horizontal surface, at any moment of time, if I denote all the three masses, if I consider all the three masses as a system under observation, if you consider all these three masses as a system of three particles, if you consider it as a system of three particles which are connected together by threads, but since we are considering them as a system, the forces in the threads, they are considered to be the internal forces. They are the forces inside the system. There is no outside force, there is no external force, right? Because system is on a frictionless horizontal floor. No effect of gravity, there is no friction force. Tension forces, they are internal as the two masses are connected by the threads. In the absence of external force on the system, you can follow conservation of linear momentum of the system. So this is the second point which we will use in this question. First is the energy conservation, and second is the linear momentum conservation will be valid in this question. Okay. Now, capital M mass, by the symmetry of problem, the capital M mass will always move on a straight line path. This capital M mass will always move on the straight line path, like so. And the two masses which are small m and small m, if you consider the system at some intermediate stage, then these two masses which are denoted by small m, and they are connected by a thread of a length L with mass capital M, right? Since the thread is inextensible, so at any moment of time, the distance of small m from capital M is a constant value, as this distance will be the length of thread, and the length of thread cannot change. If you remember the definition of circle, then we all know that the circle is locus of all points having same distance from a common reference point, which is denoted as center of that circle. So, so this small m mass, okay. So this small m mass is moving in such a way. This small m mass is moving in such a way that at any moment of time, its distance from capital M will be a fixed distance. It means if you watch small m, if you watch small m, that is the path of small m. If I watch path or trajectory of small m in frame of capital M, in the frame of capital M, then this path will be a circular path. I repeat, trajectory of a small m in frame of capital M will be a circular trajectory, and the reason behind that is the distance of particle of mass small m from capital M is a constant distance, and the only possible trajectory as per the mathematics is a circular trajectory. Okay. Now, obviously the collision will be when, if I denote this angle as theta and the other side also theta, then the moment this theta becomes 0, the two masses will collide with each other. Okay. The moment this theta angle becomes 0, the two masses small m, they will collide with each other. Okay. Just a minute. So what will happen now? If you consider the same situation at the time of collision, if I consider the situation at the time of collision, then it is like so. Capital M mass, which is moving in the same direction in which it started, and the two masses, which are denoted by small m and small m, they are connected to capital M by the thread of length L. And at the time of collision, these masses are in a circular path. So their velocities must be like so towards each other, denoted by V and V. I repeat my statement. Trajectory of small m is a circular trajectory, but in the frame of capital M only. So if a capital M has a velocity denoted by say V dash, if I denote V dash as the velocity of capital M, and in frame of capital M, in the frame of capital M, I can draw this picture to you for, I can draw this picture for you. Here we have two masses, capital M and small m. Capital M is moving upward with velocity V dash, and relative to capital M, small m is in a circular path relative to capital M. So the velocity of small m denoted along the tangent of circle by V is the relative velocity of small m. And that means the absolute velocity of small m, if you find out the absolute velocity of small m, then it should be the velocity of small m in frame of capital M plus velocity of capital M, right? Absolute velocity of capital M. So the velocity of small m in the frame of capital M is V towards right side, and plus the absolute velocity of capital M, which is V dash towards the upper side. Now it means finally capital M mass has a velocity V dash in the y direction. Small m has a velocity towards right side denoted by V, as well as towards the y direction, which is V dash, and same principle will be for small m. It has a velocity V towards left and also V dash in the upward direction. I again repeat that this V is a relative velocity of small m. This V is also the relative velocity of small m, which is along the tangent of circular trajectory, whose center will be at capital M. Now, linear momentum will be conserved. Okay. So if I follow conservation of linear momentum, then the initial linear momentum, which was capital M into U, is now the linear momentum of this entire system. and the linear momentum of this system is mv dash, capital M v dash, plus small m v dash, plus small m v dash. So I can multiply it by 2. That is the conservation of linear momentum. Conservation of energy. So at the initial moment, energy of system was half m into u square, whereas now the energy is half m v dash square for the capital M mass and half small m. Remember, the resultant velocity of small m mass will be as per law of parallelogram, and it is square root of v square plus v dash square. So while calculating kinetic energy, you need to consider this resultant velocity for small m. So we will consider square root of v square plus v dash square and its whole square, and we will also multiply it by 2 as we have two similar masses. So you multiply it by 2 as you have two similar masses with the same conditions. So that is your second equation, and you can now find out velocity v dash from this equation, and also you can find out velocity v from this equation. Okay, so I leave that for you. You find out v dash and v from these two equations. Then now the next part. Now the next part. Okay, the situation is that capital M mass will experience two forces by the strings. Since it is connected by two strings, there are two tension forces acting on capital M mass, and therefore acceleration of capital M will be 2 times t divided by m in the downward direction. Okay, and if I consider small m mass, which is connected to the capital M, then that small m mass is on a circular path. It is on a circular path, but that circular path is in frame of capital M, and capital M is accelerated object. Since capital M is accelerated object, which means we are dealing the problem in non-inertial frame, and since we are dealing the problem in the non-inertial frame of reference, we have to consider pseudo force on small m, and the pseudo force on small m will be just opposite to the frame of reference in which the motion of small m particle is considered. Motion of small m is considered in the frame of capital M, whose acceleration is downside, and therefore the pseudo force on small m will be upside, and that pseudo force on small m will be its mass small m multiplied by acceleration of the frame from which this mass is being observed, and this mass is being observed from the frame of a capital M, whose acceleration is 2t divided by capital M. Along with this pseudo force, this mass will also experience tension force in the string, and that tension force is a real force in this mass. So now it has two masses, and with the help of these two, sorry, it has two forces, and with the help of these two forces, this mass is moving with velocity v in this circle, along this circle. Remember, this mass has two velocities, v towards the right side and v dash towards the upside. But this v velocity is the velocity along circle. Okay, so this v is the velocity with which the mass small m is moving along a circle in frame of capital M. In order to move along a circle with a given speed, the necessary condition is the total force towards the center of circle must be equal to the centripetal force. And the force which is acting on small m towards the center, and where is the center? So center of that circular path will be at capital M, and the force towards capital M is T plus the pseudo force, And this total force which is towards center must be centripetal force, which is m v square over radius, that is the length of string. And this v we have obtained in the previous step. For this v, you need to solve these two equations. Once you solve these two equations, you will get the value of a v. And if you get the value of v, substitute this value here in the equation for the centripetal force, and you will get your answer of capital T. After all calculations, you will get capital T as small m capital M square U square over capital M plus 2 little m square times L. And after putting numerical values, the answer will be 2.0 Newton. That is the answer for this question. Right? If you find any problem, or if you are unable to understand any step in this question, in this solution, you can write down a message in the comment box. I will try to explain it. Okay, take care, bye bye, stay at home.